And then, of course, if we add on top the fact that, yes, true, I'm not from here, this adds the third level of complexities. I think, you know, in order to do all this, first of all, I would suggest for the audience as well, is you need to like challenges, right? If you don't like challenges, it's going to be very tough, right? So you need to be motivated by, you know, challenges and difficulties.
And maybe not afraid to fail.
I think not afraid to fail for sure, because failure is part of the learning.
Yes.
Right? In startups, we always say, you know, you need to, if you fail, fail fast. And this is very important, right? You cannot fail but spend too much time, because you will not have time to reinvent yourself.
I see. Okay. So, what are your failures?
Well, I have failures every day, right?
I see.
You know, running a technology company, especially across few countries, you encounter different problems, right? Problems could be on the technical side, problems can be on the operational side, logistics, and so on. I mean, we've been shipping, you know, millions of those wristbands over the past years, right?
Okay.
And
3 point something million.
Yeah, we sold roughly 3.8 million of those, right?
Indonesian only, or
region-wide.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we've catered to one of the largest events in the region, right? From you know, big EDM concerts to music concerts and so on, right? So basically, you need to overcome all this, and you need to be sober and believe in what you're doing in the long run, right? That is very important. So you need to know where you are trying to get, right? And whatever is going to happen between here and there will be ups and downs, and this is normal. Right, so for the audience, it's important to understand that they shouldn't be scared if there is a problem. You overcome. Today is a bad day, tomorrow is going to be a good day.
What's the worst thing that happened to you during this business?
Well, I think one of the worst things actually happened quite recently is obviously we know that the world got hit by a pandemic, so many of our countries got on lockdowns, right? So many of the events stopped because it's not safe. So we had to go back as a team together to the drawing board and say, what do we do? Right? How can we use our knowledge, our expertise, in order to overcome this problem, right? And this is basically where the pouch pass came into place, right? So this was a big, you know, when we kind of came with this new product to measure temperature and make sure that everybody is safe, was a big relief for the team, because say, look, it's bad, but we have something that we can do that is important and gives to the community, right? So I think this was a tough moment, because COVID also affected my family as well. So I had a case, here in Indonesia. Okay. So it was a tough moment, and you know, but I managed to overcome. So now I'm looking towards the brighter future.
Okay. So it's interesting that you said that you need to have that mentality, that like challenge. How are you growing up? Is there something that you can talk about, like?
Sure.
Because after several interviews with entrepreneurs, I can see there's some traits that needs to be there. It's not for everyone. So it helps to understand, you know, what you've been through in life as well. It's not only on the business, you know, but also because I think the grit that you mentioned, like you need to have a goal, and then from here and to the point of the goal, you need just roll with it.
Push.
And what would you say that most important that you learn in your life growing up that, you know, enable you to be in this position? You know, that's something, you know, probably will be useful for me as well. Because he's younger than me.
Not that younger.
But
not that
more
younger.
Successful audience.
Not that younger.
Okay.
No, I think it's also how you grow up, and from since you're a kid, what you go through. Personally, since I was a kid, I changed different countries where I lived. Right, so of course Russia, Italy, Germany there was as well.
Okay.
So I changed about 6 different schools. Right.
I see.
So every school I would go, I would meet the new kids. I had to learn a new language and I had to adapt. Right. So that story I think is very comparable to an entrepreneurial journey, where every time you need to adapt, right? So I think there is some parallelism between the two that you can probably connect the dots, right?
Interesting. Because I'm having difficulties of explaining to my kid why she needs to change school.
Well, maybe after this episode.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of like interesting, because if that brings something good out of it, you know, I might as well explain to her about our conversation. This is not going to be in the video, by the way. So, okay, so that's that. And then how about being an expat in here? Because can you explain a little bit, is there any difference of starting a business in a foreign country?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, being an expat in any country is challenging because it's not your home country.
Yeah.
I have to say, I lived in many countries before coming to Indonesia. And Indonesia, I found myself very, very, very comfortable because I believe the people are very nice, right?
They always said that.
This is very important.
Yeah,
it's very important.
Yeah.
And this is what eventually made me stay in Indonesia for a lot longer.
Okay.
Right. At the beginning, I was planning to stay a shorter amount of time, but then, as I
you find a wife.
I found my wife. That's true. It's a good incentive.
It's not a big factor.
It's a good incentive.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the fact that people are very welcoming. They're willing to help. And even though you have some difficulties, there's always somebody who is there ready to help you. And this is very important.
Okay, that's nice to hear. And also, the other thing is, do you have a partner in here? I mean, business partner?
One of my partners, he's actually based in the Philippines.
Okay.
So he's running our technology team from there. Right, so we've been working a lot on, nowadays everybody is working on Zoom, WhatsApp.
Yeah. So you get used to it, yeah?
Get used to it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, what is the importance of having good partnership in this? Because, I oftentimes hear a lot of people, go south. The business goes south because the partnership is not as solid.
Yeah.
Or maybe you have overlapping in terms of which area that you are you're good at, in your strength and your weakness.
Yeah.
Is there a way of finding the right partner, or you just pick the one that you trust? I mean, that's still a mystery to me.
Well, I think partnerships are very important in general. In Indonesia, we have strong partners. Traveloka is being one of them.
Okay.
Right, and Tix ID, if you go to the movie cinemas, is another partner of ours. I think when selecting a partner is very important to understand whether you can work with that person in the longer run. So it does come down to the personal relationship eventually. And if you feel that you have a good, transparent and honest relationship, that's already a good point to continue that partnership and move forward.
And how about if you see the future here in Indonesia, is that also open the possibility to have a local partner?
Of course. I mean, we to be honest with you, I have majority of my staff here is all Indonesians, right? So we are an Indonesian company in that sense.
I see.
Right?
Okay.
So I believe there is a lot of talent in Indonesia. That's why I'm here, and that's why also our regional headquarters is here, right? So
that's just one of the things that I was surprised. Dia pemirsa, jadi Pouch Nation itu headquartersnya justru di Indonesia, bukan di Singapura atau bukan di Hong Kong. Now, that's interesting, dan itu give us an advantage ya untuk jadi headquarters di sini. Jadi jangan kemana-mana, kita akan tetap ngobrol terus dengan Ilya Krastov tentang Pouch Nation dan gimana sih kira-kira future-nya dan kira-kira rencana ke depannya mau apa. Jangan kemana-mana, tetap di sini di Lokal Talk.
Well, menarik bukan pembicaraan kita kali ini? Dan buat kalian yang mau tahu lebih dalam bagaimana menjalani bisnis seperti ini, jangan kemana-mana ya, karena kami akan kembali lagi setelah yang satu ini.